Hello everybody! Today I'm in my practice studio. Hello everybody, I'm Sarah and I'm a recorder player. This video is dedicated to my good friend Kat, whose daughter would really like to start the recorder, but she's a little bit too young at the moment to start at school. So Kat was asking, what can we do already? Because she's really excited and just wants to do something. So in this video, I'm going to be explaining different ways in which you can use your recorders to make sound effects and already make your own music using that. I use this from the very first lesson. Actually, this is what I do in the first lesson. So a child who might come, they might have motor skills that aren't quite developed enough yet to really get the fingers on the holes. I see that a lot with kids who are around 6 years old. They might not be able to read and write yet, so learning the notes, how to read them is a whole new thing. But from that first lesson, I want them to have the feeling of, yes, I can do it, this is for me, and I'm allowed to be creative and use my imagination. We're actually approaching questions of improvisation and composition. Improvisation and composition are very approachable if you just have some tools to use them with. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to show you a bunch of different ways in how I play music on the recorder without actually using notes. I'm going to give you some associations that I have with these sounds, but of course it doesn't have to be that. You can think of your own, or better yet, you can let your children think of them themselves. We are using a normal soprano or descant recorder, but you can use any kind of recorder for these. Don't forget, you don't have to use the whole recorder. What else can you do? Okay, so that was a bunch of sounds. There are definitely lots more. See what you can find. A telephone conversation is always a nice thing because it encourages the two people to listen to each other. Just like when you're talking to someone, you don't talk through them, so you have to wait until the other person has given you your turn sharing. You can think of two different voices for the people who are chatting. For example, and you can talk about what's the situation going to be? Are they happy or angry with one another? How would you make it sound like they're shouting or laughing or crying or saying bye? Hello? As well as making sounds that sound like things, you can also make sounds that have feelings. For example, you can use one to lead on to the next. In a lesson, what I will typically do is teach one sound to give a starting point. For example, and then we can start associating what that sound will be. What does it sound like? Oh, you think it sounds like a bird? What kind of bird? What does he look like? What does he eat? Is he nice or nasty? And you can start building up a story. And from there you can say, how could we make another sound that sounds like a different kind of bird? And then, we start exploring all the different parts of the instrument. With the new bird, you build up a personality for it. And then from there, you could have the two birds have a conversation. You could make a story about the birds with all kinds of sound effects. They're going through the woods and you hear the wind in the trees and you hear the twigs snapping and suddenly a wolf appears. So you can use all of these sounds when playing and making a story together. This could be a story that you invent yourselves, or you could take an existing one and dream up some great sound effects for it and put on a play. Why not? At this point, you're improvising. Maybe you've put together a really great story or some sounds that you think are really cool and you want to write them down. Great, we're composing. So what I then do with my students is to then start inventing some different drawings for these sounds. For example, might be a wavy line and might be some blobs. They can invent it. And then we write these down, we draw them so we know what they look like. And now we have those building blocks, we can start talking about, okay, which sound do you think would be really good for the beginning? Like, how do we want to begin? With like a wah or really tiny. The same for the ending. Then you've got your kind of bookends, the beginning and the ending. Then what's going to happen in the middle? A sound's going to come back. A sound's going to happen at the same time. I use this one in groups a lot, and that is guess the sound. This can also be a nice way to teach a kid how to do a particular sound rather than saying, this is how it is, do it too. You can have them first really listen. So I get all the kids to close their eyes, no peeking, and don't give it away if you know what the sound is. Then I play something and they have to listen, and then one by one they can say what they thought it was. For this I often do the birds, I do the fire engine, and I do wind. Of course, you can turn it around. You can let the children invent sounds and you have to guess what it is. You can work with a conductor, and by doing this you invent some really simple gestures. For example, stop can be begin, and then you also have, and you can decide between yourselves if this means high and low or hard and soft. And then you can also conduct the kids in doing this. If you have more than one child, they could each have a different sound, and then you're conducting your piece together. And of course you can let the children conduct you or conduct each other. Aha, that's a nice one. You can ask for every sound. Okay, how will we make this into a dance move or a movement? You can have a lot of fun with this, when I'm working with kids with this kind of material, we have another rule. If I do this, everyone has to freeze like a statue, and I tell them they have to make the most crazy face they can make, like this. And that is a way of getting silence, which is which is sometimes necessary. Maybe you could invent some sleeping sounds for your recorder. So when you think, if I have to listen to one more bird again, I will throw this recorder into a volcano. You can say, oh, the recorder's gonna go to sleep now. That might not work. Kids are very clever. I hope that this video might have been useful for some different sounds you can try on the recorder, and you can also try with your kids. Please let me know how it goes. Teachers, do you have ideas for me? Because I'm always looking for new things to do with my students. Parents, let me know how it goes. Thank you for watching.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel.
And have a lovely day. Bye bye.